Top 10 Greatest Professional Wrestlers of All Time. Everybody realizes that professional wrestling is arranged. The matches are first pre-arranged, then practiced, and the results are foreordained. By expert wrestlers need to manage gigantic actual discipline, genuine wounds, and a difficult itinerary. Popularity comes for an extreme price. Here are the awesome have at any point accomplished it. 10. Amigo Rogers. Significant titles held. 2. Rogers turned out to be incredibly famous during the 1950s and 1960s. An extremely colorful contender, he consolidated disposition, an exceptional constitution, and a mark-completing move to turn into the first genuinely complete grappler. Despite the fact that he was unable to outperform the two top wrestlers of his period, Thez and Samartino, he raised them and numerous others by playing the reprobate character so effectively. Main concern: no Buddy Rogers, no Ric Flair. No Ric Flair, no Sting. No Sting, no, and so on. 9. The Rock. Significant titles held. 9. If God somehow managed to make a grappler, he would make The Rock. Favored with all the common ascribes and mystique conceivable, Dwayne Johnson immediately went the method of Hollywood. He is effectively the best competitor on this rundown and achieved an extraordinary arrangement in the business in a short measure of time. Fiercely famous and amazingly engaging, The Rock is and presumably will consistently be the best grappler at any point to get a mouthpiece. 8. Andre the Giant. Significant titles held. 1. Champ of the most battle royals in a vocation. There probably won't be a more cherished figure. Thriving, he could literally crush anyone who set out to venture inside a ring with him. Andre, through no deficiency of his own, regularly was reserved as the Goliath character versus many Davids. This made for great narrating yet restricted his in-ring achievements. Wounds and sickness eventually wore him out, yet not prior to resigning as an all-time top choice. 7. Bruno Samartino. Significant titles held. 2. Samartino was the prevailing grappler of the 1960s and part of the 1970s. He was an enormous example who set up the huge man as the essential champion in the United States. All through his excellence he wrestled and crushed all of the significant players of the period. The Italian Stallion, as he was known, was a hero grappler whose wounding and stalwart style charmed him to numerous fans, especially in the ethnic fanbase. Samartino seemed to be truly amiable even after an episode which he accidentally slaughtered individual grappler Chick Garibaldi with an awful body hammer during a match. 6. Steve Austin. Significant titles held. 6. PWI Wrestler of the Year 1998 and 1999. Austin exemplified the disposition time of professional wrestling, mid to late 1990s. At this time wrestling was at its pinnacle and he was its most brilliant star. Austin enamored both bad to the bone and easy-going fans with his insubordinate character. Austin versus his manager Vince McMahon end up being quite possibly the best wrestling points at any point depicted. The very alluring Austin was gigantically famous because of his eager exertion inside the ring and perfect mouthpiece abilities. 5. Antonio Inoki. Significant titles held. 9. Sources differ. Overall professional record: 2,107 148 to 183. The greatest grappler at any point to come from Asia, Inoki, imagined left, was honorable and enamoring inside the ring. He has set the bar for any contender that means in the Japanese ring and has done similarly as much for the game external the ring as a diplomat. Inoki's ace wrestling vocation endured more than 35 years, all through which he confronted and crushed the absolute greatest names on the planet. He is additionally unbelievably talented as an authentic blended military craftsman. A game in which Inoki is likewise a legend. 4. Bret Hart. Significant titles held. 7. PWI Grappler of the Year 1993 and 1994. Hart was naturally introduced to a wrestling family. His dad was an unbelievable grappler and coach, all 7 of his siblings were in the wrestling industry, and all 4 of his sisters wedded professional wrestlers. He is seemingly the best specialized grappler of all time. Bret Hart turned into a massively mainstream and fruitful singles and label group entertainer for his capacity to recount stories through his extreme matches. 3. Lou Thez. Significant titles held, 3. Longest title length, 10 years. Most youthful title holder, age 21. A legend and trend-setter in the business, Thesz rose the professional wrestling positions during the 1930s and is generally credited for creating numerous moves. He was known as a hooker, a grappler who utilized different authentic moves to end matches with betraying adversaries who wouldn't really stay on track. This capacity alongside an especially liquid style allowed him to clutch the title for longer than 10 years while overcoming all challengers. 2. Ric Flair. Significant titles held, 16, shifts by source. PWI Wrestler of the Year, 1981, 1984, 1985, 1986, 1989, 1992. In short, Ric Flair is wrestling. He has featured each advancement he has at any point been in from the 1970s to the mid-2000s, winning numerous world championships in each. Energy is amazing for having the option to produce responses from the group, with a blend of rule-breaking and a showy ring passageway. His fantastic solidness and vivid promotions have made him a consistent most loved whether he was a hero, babyface, or troublemaker, heel. 1. Hulk Hogan. Significant titles held, 12. PWI Wrestler of the Year, 1987, 1991, 1994. The Hulkster administered professional wrestling for 2 whole many years. Having mind-blowing charm and actual height, he changed wrestling from a specialty pastime, spread out more than a few provincial advancements to a standard brand of amusement. Hogan's attractiveness and appearances in motion pictures and TV helped transform the WWE into a billion-dollar industry and prepared for the present high-paid stars and extravagantly delivered shows. His in-ring capacity, anyway, failed to impress anyone, as he is generally viewed as a sub-optimal grappler. By the by, Hogan seldom lost a match, even into his 50s.